In this video, I'm going to transform my entire hardcore world. From overhauling the starter area to building a massive mushroom forest is just the start. This is my largest project yet that took me 2000 days to complete. Yeah, I was joking. Anyways, grab some snacks, stay hydrated. Thank you so much for watching in the first place and enjoy the video. Before I get into any shenanigans, let's add more names to the perimeter wall. For that, I need some quartz. Let me barter with these guys for a bit. Here we go. Since I wasn't quite happy with the look of just the names on this blank wall, I rebuilt them and added a nice and clean border around each of them. I love adding more names here as it connects you, the community, more with this world. If you want to be immortalized on this wall as well, simply write a comment on any video or drop a message on the Discord server. Link is in the description. And the wall is coming together nicely. Because I'm bored, let's get some ancient debris. It's just nice to have a little stockpile of netherite whenever I break a tool, which happened a lot in this episode. You know, sometimes you gotta take it slow and organize a few things. Yeah, my storage system is slowly becoming too small for all my items, but it'll have to last a few more thousand days until the mega base is built. I have started planning that one a little bit, but nothing serious yet. Well then, let's actually transform my world. One thing that makes traveling to different areas much nicer is decorating the portals. So far, I have only placed blocks in the corners to tell me where this portal leads to, but with some more decoration, this desolate place can be spruced up quite a bit. As always, let's gather some resources. Well, there's not that many, so here they are already. Now I can get straight to building the portals. I also finally made a portal for the Guardian farm, well, one that works. It has to be a few blocks away from the farm to not link up to the portal inside the farm, and I expanded the storage with a few chests. Building these portals definitely makes the nether roof a little more aesthetically pleasing. Some portals are still not decorated, but these were mostly one-time use portals, or ones I really don't need anymore and are further away from everything else. Now I made a poll to ask for some names for this world. Well, that was a few months ago. Yeah, it's been that long since the last hardcore video. Anyways, I picked my 3 favorite suggestions and put them into a new poll where you can go vote on your favorite, which will become the name of this world. Actually, you'll find there are 2 polls, but the second one I'll get to later. Anyways, I definitely do have my favorite, but I'll leave the rest up to you guys. Very well. The next transformation is quite the upgrade, the starter area. Soon after spawning into this world, I settled here and built my first base. I have expanded this with farms and other builds all around it. Now it's time to make this look even better and finish this part of the world. Let me place the schematic and then start gathering the resources. I made a small sniffer farm, and while AFKing it, I wanted to name my tools and armor. I have this data pack that lets me customize the names of the items a little bit. Now I need your help to name them. I am quite uncreative with names, so let me know down in the comments what I should name my sword, pickaxe, axe, shovel, bow, all the armor pieces, and the elytra. Although the sword's name I came up with is Comet Fall, which is a reference to my main base. I really like the name, so that one is most likely the one I'll keep for this one, unless you have a better name for it. If you enjoyed the video so far, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's free and you can unsub anytime if you change your mind. It helps me out a lot. Here I have all the resources. Let's get to chopping down the trees and decorate the Cherry Grove Mountain. While building, I found this black cat, which is really rare. They normally spawn in witch huts and less so in a village. The village here is the iron farm. Well then, this is what it looks like. A small water stream, some farms, rocks, custom trees, and a flower field elevate the aesthetics of this area by a lot. As I don't need to come back to this area much longer, it'll be a pleasantry to look at when I do come back thousands of days into the future. Quick side note, some of you have asked for behind the scenes content. I do think it makes sense to share some of the cut content, especially from the hardcore series. A lot of it is simply put into a time lapse and some is being cut entirely to keep a good pace during the video. While there are some sneak peeks over on the Discord server, I do want to share more of this extra content. I will mostly post this on my Patreon, but it will be for free, so you don't need to pay anything to get access to the extra content. The reason I don't want to post it on YouTube is because of the way the algorithm works. At some point I could make a second channel for this, but for now the bulk of the extra content will be posted there. Maybe I'll post some of this as a YouTube short, but since I have no experience in short form content, I'll have to figure this one out a bit more. The Patreon is almost fully set up as well. Now back to the video. The next project was suggested by a viewer. Do you remember these? Yeah, it's been a while. Anyways, ideas from you guys that I think I can implement into this world are noted down here. Slowly I'll work through all these ideas and bring them to life. This is the one I'll tackle now. I had to remove the old Froglight farm when I built the Nether hub, so this is the perfect opportunity to make a new one. This new Froglight farm will be faster and has shulker loaders, and of course it will be decorated with the hand and the chest from Fortnite. Because I hate myself, I decided to use over 10 stacks of ancient debris for this build. Yeah, I know, I always find ways to make the hardcore videos even more time consuming. Anyways, let's get started. Time to use this good old pal again. This is the Infinibore, which is just an overpowered tunnel bore. Let me AFK this for a few hours and then collect some ancient debris. I haven't seen this much ancient debris since the armor trim factory. Before I go collect the rest of the resources, I wanted to build this little addition to the storage, which essentially lets me manually turn on the chunk loaders for the base. This is useful for when I'm smelting items, but I am not here to load the smelter. Now, for the other blocks needed, let's cue the montage. Yeah, oxidizing all the trapdoors took forever, even though it's only by one stage. Well then, I have all the resources now to build the new Froglight farm. The next step is to get all the frogs. I'd like 10 of each variant for reasonable rates of the farm. So let's get to breeding and raising a bunch of tadpoles.
6.5 hours later.
Now I gotta lead them into their lovely new home, where they'll spend the rest of their lives trapped and work for all eternity to serve me. Yeah, that took a dark turn. Anyways, let's quickly AFK for some time. Safe to say the farm works flawlessly. Let's checkmark this off the ideas book, completing this project. Before I move on to the mega project of the video, I need to talk about something. With this series, I have tons of projects planned and it's just a matter of time until I can work on each of them. However, I want to give you guys the opportunity to decide which project I should tackle next. And that's exactly where the second poll I mentioned earlier comes in. So with every episode of the hardcore series, I will post a poll over on the post tab where you get to vote on one of a few projects. This time the choices are the following. Number 1, a steampunk district in the perimeter. This one is the entrance to the perimeter where I'll build a giant storage system, a few farms, and a massive auto crafting system amongst other things. Number 2, a cyberpunk district. This is probably the largest district that houses a ton of farms. Number 3, capturing every mob in the game and make a zoo for them. Now, this has been done before, but never to this scale. We're looking at a total of 450 mobs that are all different in some way, shape, or form. So vote on your favorite project and the winner will be the main star for the next episode. The poll is already up, so make make sure to vote. And now for the world's largest project done in a single hardcore video ever. I don't know how true that is, so don't fact check me, but I could see it being up there. Yeah, that's how insane this build is. Let me place the schematic and render the entire thing. Okay, this is killing my PC and my footage. Anyways, running the calculation, this requires around 1.15 million blocks. While the perimeter was close to 3 million blocks, I was able to place most of it automatically with fancy redstone machines. For this project, that's not the case. Every block will have to be placed manually. Well, what is the project? This viewer has suggested to build a mushroom forest around the meteor shower. If you remember, back when I wrote this down, I also mentioned that I would combine it with this idea here. Building a village inside the mushroom forest is still the plan, but that will have to wait a little longer. The scale for the forest was kinda given by the 5x5 maps in this room here. On the right is the overworld perimeter, on the left will be the nether perimeter, and in the center I will map out this base together with the mushroom forest. However, let's map it out already before I get started. This is what it looks like now, and I'll update them at the end once everything is built. Let's get started with getting resources. The first block I need is the honeycomb block. To gather them a little faster, let's replace some of the bottles with shears. While AFKing, I grabbed some normal honey blocks as well. Next, I need amethyst blocks. These are notoriously annoying to get in large quantities, but by sheer coincidence, see what I did there? Because we just used shears before in the honey farm.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Anyways, turns out my base is roughly centered on top of 4 geodes that I can turn into automatic farms. Since the random ticked range is limited around the player, I cannot just junk load these, but I need to be present here myself. However, since I have other resources to get and some smelting to do here at the base, I can let the amethyst farms run in the background for 160 hours. Yeah, that's approximately how long it's gonna take to get all the amethysts together. Let's start by digging them out. I used lots of TNT to do the majority of the work, but closer to the geodes, I mined manually to avoid blowing up the budding amethysts. Since for some reason I always use my flame bow to ignite the TNT, I had to replace it with a new one when its durability got low. Truth be told, I had to do this twice. This brings us up all the way to Mark 6 already, although this one's basically broken as well. Of course, I need to store all my old bows in this barrel as well. Now I can start building the quadruple amethyst farm. The farm works by sending a bunch of flying machines from 3 different sides, only breaking the clusters. This happens every 3 hours or so to allow for the buds to grow. Each geode essentially requires a fully custom layout for the flying machines. There is a tool that helps with this process though. As you can see, some of the clusters cannot be reached without breaking budding amethysts, but I think it's a good compromise for automatically harvesting them. I know manually mining them with Fortune 3 would massively boost the rates, but that would be manual work, and we don't like that around here. Everything has to be automated. Anyways, here the shards are coming in. Let's craft the Mark 7 bow. Yeah, I'm going through one bow after the other. Well then, here's the next schematic. Turns out I need to build a couple of brand new farms to gather all the blocks for the mushroom forest. And the one block I need the most of is the mushroom stem. Wow, who could have guessed that? Well, let's build a farm for that. This is a very compact farm. Let's fill it up with bone meal and empty shulker boxes, start the farm and AFK for a bit. While AFKing this farm or any other farm I'll have to build here, I can simultaneously also farm the amethysts, which is why I was lucky to have a total of 4 geodes within the random ticked range. Since I'll be going through a bunch of diamond axes mining all the mushroom stems, let's organize my unofficial trading hall. I don't know whether I've ever shown this before, but here it is. While I have this trading hall right here, it's really small with 7 total villagers, 3 of which are librarians. So all my other librarians have just been down here in this hole since the start of the series. Don't worry, they're still completely sane. I'll simply move them into individual slots to better keep track of which one's which, and they can also finally restock their traits. Now it's much easier to find the right books and enchant a ton of axes with Unbreaking 3 and Silk Touch. I'm sure I need more than just these, but we'll see. I have a small issue. I've run out of iron. This is all I have, and the iron farm at the starter area is really slow. Since I spent very little time over there, it's also not running at all for most of the time, so it's time for an upgrade. All that's left are the 2 pillagers and all the villagers. This is the farm done, and here's what it looks like. Super cool design. Now I have all the iron in the world. I could watch the villagers being bounced around all day, but I have other things to do. Before I continue, I have some business to attend to. I crossed another 1000 day milestone. To celebrate this, I always put a nether star in our achievement room. Well, I guess let's go grab a few. Here we go. The next little farm I need is a short grass farm. Yeah, that's that. Super simple to use, and it does the job perfectly. Continuing the grueling and never-ending journey of gathering all the resources, amongst many other blocks, I needed some basalt and a lot of moss. Luckily, I have farms for both of these. I also decided to move all the resources over here in these empty slices of the storage. This way, I can better keep track of what's still missing. Next, I need black dye from my Wither Rose farm, which is broken in the 1.21 version of the game. Well, it's a small issue with the way the Wither shoots its projectiles, but that's quite easy to fix. At least I thought so. I made a temporary fix that occasionally still breaks. Guess I'll leave that for future me. Slowly but surely, I'm running low on shulker shells. Fortunately, there are some left over at the farm. To AFK at the Guardian farm, I built this little addition, which drops me food regularly. This way, I can AFK overnight, even though the gardens have thorns. Without it, the regeneration of the beacon wouldn't be able to keep up with the starving and the thorn damage. Let's get started, and I'll see you tomorrow, or in a few days. After killing over 400,000 guardians, I can craft all the prismarine related blocks. This is also around the time I realized I might cross 5,000 days in this same video, even though I just passed 4,000 days. It's a massive grind, and I hope you can understand why it took me so long to get this video done. Anyways, it's time for another farm. I need lots of spruce planks, oak wood, and acacia wood. This universal tree farm is not quite the fastest, so let's upgrade. Yeah, this design might be a lot faster, but there is an issue. It eats through the bone meal like crazy. So let me simply build a bone meal farm. Ha! Joke's on you. I need more shulker boxes, and I have no shulker shells left. Well, I guess this is my problem and not yours. Joke's on me, I guess. And of course, the shulker farm is also broken in this version. So let's build a new design. Let's make it 2. Now I can build a new bone meal farm, AFK it, just so I can AFK the tree farm, just so I can build my mushroom forest. That was a short little tangent. I'm multitasking as much as I can and try to farm everything as efficiently as possible, going back and forth between different farms, chugging away at collecting every item, crafting all the various blocks, and so on. This project is definitely dragging on for much longer than I wanted to, but I'm determined to see it all the way through. Now I need another massive farm, the biggest one in this episode. Let's get all the blocks together, and oh, who could have seen this coming? I need another farm to even dream to build the big farm. This is a super compact dead coral fan farm, and now I can build a gigantic chorus fruit farm. The creator of this farm is working on a new and much better design, but I haven't seen or heard anything about it for a while, so I brute forced myself through this farm. I can simply place the chorus flowers while TNT breaks the plants and flowers. This allows me to collect all the chorus fruit I need to craft a lot of purple blocks. And finally, I have all 110 shulker boxes of the mushroom stems together, as well as all the amethyst blocks. This is a massive step in the right direction. Soon I might already be done with this project. Yeah, a man can wish. Continuing with shulker boxes full of terracotta, I now need to dye it all and smelt it. I think it's time to upgrade my 32 furnace smelter to a 192 furnace array. And here it is. I designed it myself, so at times it is a bit scuffed, especially over here, but hey, it works flawlessly. Every minecart picks up exactly 3 stacks of items, then distributes them across all the furnaces, and when done smelting, they return to the player. And this is the actual speed of the smelter. The footage has not been sped up at all. I'd say this project was a success. And here's the final terracotta done as well. We're on the home stretch now. Well, with gathering the blocks. I still have to use the TNT dupers to mine out the entire area and then build it. But let's get the remaining blocks in a montage. Yeah, so I lied. There is one final block to get, and this one is by far the worst block to collect as there is no farm for it. I need 17,000 raw gold blocks. That's 10 shulker boxes, or 90 shulker boxes of pure raw gold. The gold farm only produces ingots and nuggets, and there is no way to turn them into the raw gold. There is really only one option I have left. I guess it's time to visit an old friend. We've seen the one in the nether earlier in the video, the Infinibore. Truly a marvel of modern Minecraft. However, this is the old version, and it's set up to mine at a Y level for diamonds and not so much gold. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is to build the newer version at a level more suited towards mining gold. Well then, let's get started. Of course, once again, my bow is dead. And here's the Mark 8. Anyways, this new Infinibore is more efficient and causes less lag, although it is harder to build in my opinion, mostly because of the signal strength I had to manually apply here. As you can see, I built it here next to the raid farm and the chorus fruit farm. Let's do a test run. Sadly, it's hard to showcase the machine working as it operates partially in lazy chunks. They are essentially not fully loaded and only redstone works there. Here you can catch a glimpse of it though. Just think of all these explosions happening at the very same time, which is why it doesn't blow up all the items. Okay, the machine seems to work perfectly, meaning I can run it for real this time. One final check and let's go. This will take a few hours. This is the destruction caused by the Infinibore. Now I simply need to collect it all. My strategy is the same as back when I collected all the diamonds and the ancient debris for the armor trims, going back and forth from side to side all the way to the end of the tunnel until I have enough raw gold. How long will this take? I have no idea. The only mindset that doesn't completely fry my brain with this overwhelming task is every piece of gold I pick up is one piece of gold closer to finishing this project. This is all I kept repeating in my head while I took upon this frustratingly arduous task. Sounds like I'm going insane. Yeah, maybe a little. But I kept myself distracted with movies, TV shows and YouTube videos. I felt like I had watched it all. I don't know how many hours, heck, even days I spent collecting all the gold. I did a rough calculation and it came out to about 50 hours. Just walking back and forth collecting gold. I also AFK'd 4 separate times instead of it all in one go. I did collect some diamonds and lapis, but eventually I solely focused on gold to speed up the process. It was my greatest challenge yet, but at last I conquered even this tedious task. task. The relief I felt when I was finally able to stop walking through this tunnel, craft it all into the blocks, and to know I now truly have all the materials needed for this insane project. Of course, in all this time I used up another bow and made the Mark 9 sniper. Also, I crossed the 5,000 day milestone. This is now officially my longest world I've ever played in. Let's place a nether star in this room. Here's to another 1,000 days. Now I can get started with building, which is what I would like to say. First, I need to tear down most of the terrain. For that, I'll use TNT dupers. There are some areas that protrude too high, which would cause the dupers to blow themselves up, and believe it or not, I don't want that. And now it's fixed. Let's do a test run. Most of the water and lava is now exposed, meaning I can drain it much more easily and then run the dupers again. Once that is done, I simply need to repeat the same process on the other 3 sides as well and do some manual cleanup afterwards. Let's cue the time lapse. This looks quite insane. Slowly, I can see this project coming to an end. While I was removing the TNT dupers, I made this disgusting sniper shot. And this one. Anyways, there wasn't all too much water and lava to get rid of, meaning a lot of the time I simply had to wait. So I added a refill station. You might ask, what is a refill station? Well, the 3 consumables I use all the time are rockets for flying, golden carrots for food, and dirt as temporary building blocks. Running around the storage to manually stock them up to a full stack is beginning to feel like a chore. This machine aims to do that automatically all in one place. After a few redesigns, I simply press the note block and I get a stack of each of them. The excess I simply throw back into the water, which goes back into its separate storage. Now there is also an official way to get down below my base for maintenance or to use any of the farms I have built this episode. I also made some attempts at improving the slime launcher, but I ended up reverting all the changes. I did, however, put some powdered snow here to avoid fall damage. I didn't know slime blocks attached to powdered snow. That feels like a weird choice. Anyways, I put the snow in the corners to avoid that. I also organized all the resources for the mushroom forest on this platform for easy access. Let's also update the maps to what they look like right now. While I was cleaning up some blocks manually, I found some stray cats, so I just had to take them in. I put them over here with the dogs for now. Well then, let's not waste any more time and finally start building the most insane project I have ever done. One final time, let's cue another time lapse. Before I showcase the entire build to you, let's update the maps to their final version. It's slowly all coming together. Soon I hope I can move on to the final phase of this world, the true end game. Little teaser for you there.
And at long last, the mushroom forest was struck by a meteor. The doctor set up his second settlement in this apocalypse. The forest was known by everyone as the Deep Shimmer Wilds.
Now that I have finished this project, I can also update the ideas book. Of course, I also need to add the new entry for this episode, which lasted 2000 days. And the comment of the video by Nevados. Thank you so much for the comment. Some of the videos take a bit more time than others, but I love making them all the same. The behind the scenes content, I already addressed that earlier. It will be on the Patreon for free, but that's not quite fully set up yet. And I have added your name on the wall at the beginning as well. Very well. Seeing how much I have done in this episode is insane to me. From decorating the portals to overhauling the Cherry Grove Mountain, overbuilding a brand new froglet farm, and massively expanding the decoration for my base. I'd say this world transformation was a complete success. Let me know what you think of the names Cherry Grove Mountain for the starter area and Deep Shimmer Wilds for the main base area. Make sure to vote in both the polls in the posts tab. Join the Discord server, the link is in the description. Like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel to not miss any content. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time.